Save your prayers, Lafayette. There is no God to help him.
In today's Instant Expert, we're looking at the most handsomely moustached game on PlayStation 4, The Order 1886. Here are 7 things you need to know about Sony's upcoming PS4 exclusive. To kick things off, we'll talk about story. The Order is set in an alternate history version of Victorian London, where an ancient order of Arthurian knights keeps the world safe from vicious half-breed monsters. According to the game's timeline, humans with bestial traits have existed since the 7th or 8th century. Since then, humanity has been locked in perpetual conflict. King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table fought the half-breeds and in doing so discovered the Black Water, a mysterious liquid which prolongs human life. By the time of the Industrial Revolution, humanity is finally beginning to turn the tide. It isn't all good news though. By the time we get to 1886, the lower classes have begun to rebel against the established social order, leaving the knights little choice but to defend the upper classes. Much of that story informs our next point, which is about the world itself. Ready at Dawn has gone to great lengths to recreate and refine an alternate 19th century version of London. There's a constant murky atmosphere of danger and of oppression, thanks to the richly detailed environments. It's full of rooms cluttered with antiquated equipment, heads in jars and scrawled cryptic notes. The team apparently even photographed 19th century hospitals in London to better recreate their world. Everywhere you look, that level of detail is designed to drag you further into the gloom of the Order 1886. And that leads us to our third point, which is the graphics. Without any exaggeration, the Order 1886 is one of the most visually striking, arresting games on new-gen consoles. The first time you see it transition from cutscene to gameplay is incredible, and there are no separate cutscenes in the Order. Instead, everything takes place in real time. And while this is certainly the benchmark for now, we'd be very surprised if Uncharted 4 doesn't attain similar levels of cinematic magnificence. Now, there's been lots of talk about visuals and story being more important than gameplay, but let's round up what we actually know. The Order is a third-person, cover-based shooter with obvious parallels to Gears of War. There are often 3 computer-controlled allies with you, but this is a pure single-player experience, and one with a strong emphasis on survival horror. You have the freedom to explore, to read notes, and to listen to gramophone audio logs, but when the combat starts, there's a bullet time mode, which makes everything slightly simpler. We also know that there are scripted scenes, some of which we've already seen. During these moments, the Order becomes a more linear experience, but hopefully one that will keep us engaged through a mix of adrenaline and fear. From what Ready at Dawn has said, we can expect a balanced mix of both gameplay types. Let's talk about your enemies next. Half-breeds are similar to humans, but taller and tougher. They're not just monsters, but a smart, intelligent alpha predator, designed to look like it could actually have existed. The intention here was to retain at least some shattered remnants of humanity, even when the creatures transform in front of you in real time. Some of the monsters we've seen can't even be killed, only slowed down. Elsewhere, the revolting humans provide a totally different challenge. Luckily, your knights are well equipped to deal with them. Inventions in the Order are far ahead of their time, meaning that you'll have access to things like thermal imaging, zeppelins and wireless communication. Your weapons as well are varied and unusual. You can expect guns with primary and secondary functions, grenades and proximity mines. We've already seen the thermite gun, which fires explosive flares used to set fire to enemies. It isn't very chivalrous, but it does work. Finally, we'll talk about characters. The game features 4 main protagonists, each of whom has a given name, plus one adopted from the original Knights of the Round Table. Firstly, we've got Sebastian Mallory, the second person ever to bear the name of Sir Percival. Next is Grayson, who bears the title of Sir Galahad. He views Mallory as a mentor, despite having battled the Order's enemies for centuries himself. Isabeau d'Argyle is one of the younger knights, but given the life-extending powers of Blackwater, is still far older than her appearance suggests. Finally, there's the Marquis de Lafayette, a French military officer who fought in the French and American revolutions. He's the group's youngest and is only an apprentice, not yet bearing the name of a knight. You can expect his journey in the Order 1886 to either make or break him. And that's all we've got. The Order 1886 comes to PlayStation 4 on February the 20th, 2015. In the meantime, you can hit subscribe now to stay informed about everything we know to do with The Order, or click the on-screen links now to view more episodes of Instant Expert.